According to the latest data from the U.S. Census Bureau, several counties across the country experienced significant population declines in 2023, with notable decreases observed in major counties in New York and California. Los Angeles County, one of the most populous counties in the country, lost 56,420 residents last year, although this decline was smaller than the previous year's population decrease. Similarly, King County, the most populated county in New York State, experienced a loss of over 28,000 residents. Neighboring New York counties, Queens and Bronx, also saw declines of 26,362 and 25,332 residents, respectively. In California, 3 counties stood out for their substantial population losses. Lassen County experienced a 3.9% decline in population between 2022 and 2023, while Siskiyou County and Del Norte County saw declines of 2% and 1.9%, respectively. Overall, about 67% of counties in California reported population declines last year. The California Community Poll conducted last year found that 4 in 10 Californians were considering moving out of state, primarily due to the high cost of living. This sentiment was echoed by many other Californians, with increasing costs cited as a key factor influencing relocation decisions. In contrast, Texas emerged as a state with some of the fastest-growing counties in the U.S. According to the Census Bureau data, 6 of the top 10 fastest-growing counties were in Texas. Factors contributing to this growth include domestic migration, international migration, birth rates, and death rates. The data highlights shifting population trends across the country, with some areas experiencing declines while others see growth, reflecting changing economic and social landscapes impacting residents' decisions on where to live.
Cannabis California's notoriously strong cannabis is suddenly getting weaker, by Lester Black, March 19, 2024. California's cannabis has long been known for being notoriously strong, but test results from the state's legal stores show that weed in the Golden State is getting weaker. Experts say there's more to the story. Cannabis potency is usually measured by levels of THC, the most common intoxicant in marijuana. State law requires that all cannabis products be tested for THC content, which means there's ample data on how strong the state's weed is. The median THC potency for cannabis flower has been dropping for the past 6 months and fell 7% in the past 3 months alone, according to data shared with SFGate by Headset, an analytics firm. Headset's data is based on over 90,000 test results compiled from retail stores and grouped into monthly averages. The median THC potency in December was 30.7%, but as of March 1st, it was hovering at 28.5% according to Headset's data. A 7% relative change in THC potency over the past 3 months may not seem like a lot, but the drop is the result of an ongoing issue with how California labels its pot. The cannabis potency data printed on pot labels in California has received criticism for years for being inaccurate. Pot shops can charge more money for pot that has higher THC content, and industry observers have accused labs of doctoring test results to give pot companies higher THC potencies. There have been multiple class action lawsuits filed by customers who say they've been ripped off by inaccurate cannabis potency labels and argue this constitutes false advertising on the part of the pot companies. This drop in THC potency reflected in Headset's data is simply because it's getting harder to cheat on THC potency tests, according to Zach Eisenberg, a vice president at Anresco Laboratories, a San Francisco lab licensed to test cannabis. The state ramped up enforcement of lab testing rules about 6 months ago by issuing more fines and license suspensions, and rolled out a new THC calculation method in January. These moves appear to be having an effect, Eisenberg said. We certainly heard from customers and potential customers that they're seeing potency values dropping at other laboratories, Eisenberg told SFGate. Some labs were even proactively saying, be prepared for our results to be lower after this change. Eisenberg said he expects the trend to continue, with labeled potency falling as older products work their way through the system and newer products are tested under the latest calculation method. There isn't much of a concern that California's famously dank pot won't be able to get you high anymore, though. The weed itself is likely staying the same, just the labeled THC figure is changing.
Chicago crime. Man kidnapped, sexually assaulted, robbed in River North, Chicago police say. By ABC 7 Chicago digital team updated 44 minutes ago, a 21-year-old man was kidnapped, sexually assaulted and robbed early Sunday in River North in downtown Chicago on East Ontario Street, police said. Chicago, WLS. A man was kidnapped and sexually assaulted early Sunday in downtown Chicago. A 21-year-old male victim was in the street in the 200 block of West Ontario Street in River North when someone wielding a knife forced him into a vehicle, police said. While in the vehicle, the offender sexually assaulted the victim and then robbed him of personal property, Chicago police said. The victim declined medical attention, police said. No one was in custody. The offender's gender and description were not immediately available. No further information was immediately available.
Fairfield, California. A homeless shelter at City Church in Fairfield is closing its doors due to several health and safety concerns, according to the Fairfield Police Department. The shelter, located in Solano County, has been affected by what officials describe as a massive bed bug infestation, mold in all bedrooms, a leaking roof throughout the facility, and unpermitted construction. Since the summer of 2021, Fairfield police have notified the City Church of its lack of compliance regarding serious health and safety concerns. Pastor Scott Mulvey, the pastor of the church and manager of the homeless shelter, has been credited with much of the non-compliance. In February 2023, a code enforcement hearing was held for Mulvey regarding the shelter's worrying health concerns. Mulvey then signed and agreed to correct all violations to render the facility safe. Despite attempts to cooperate, police described Mulvey as a manager with a lack of transparency who has attempted to turn away city officials in several instances. City Church has been given many opportunities to work with state and local agencies to reach compliance. However, they have continued to operate without regard for established life and safety guidelines, police said. Police say they gave Mulvey a reasonable timeline to correct the violations, but the pastor still failed to follow such an agreement with the city and has not corrected many issues. Police obtained their most recent warrant because Mulvey would not allow staff to inspect the facility. According to the State Department of Health Care Services, the shelter will no longer be active because corrected violations were once again found during its most recent inspection in February. We value and appreciate community partnerships to help individuals in need throughout Fairfield. However, with such work comes a commitment to life, safety, and health for those in need, the Fairfield Police Department stated. Police are currently attempting to transfer all the City Church residents to a new shelter. This closure highlights the challenges faced by homeless shelters in maintaining health and safety standards while providing critical services to those in need. Phoenix firefighter Gregory Naus is facing charges for damaging homes in Peoria and Phoenix. Naus, a 17-year veteran of the Phoenix Fire Department, was first arrested on February 27 for allegedly causing over $25,000 worth of damage to a home in Peoria and threatening the homeowner through text messages. According to court documents, Naus is accused of drilling holes into the roof of a Peoria home and pumping spray foam into the plumbing and draining systems, causing flooding and water damage. He is also accused of damaging the HVAC unit on the roof of the home. The damages cost the homeowner and their HOA, Country Meadows Townhouses LLC, over $25,000. In a separate incident, Naus is accused of damaging a home in Phoenix in September 2020. The homeowner accused Naus of coming onto his property, spraying foam into his drain pipe, which caused sewage to back up into his home through the shower, toilet, and other water fixtures. The repairs cost $5,487, and Naus is also accused of poisoning a lemon tree and grass in the front yard. The victim in the Phoenix case and Naus were neighbors at the time of the incident and had a dispute over a carport that Naus planned to build that extended onto the victim's property. The city of Phoenix did not allow Naus to build the carport after zoning the victim's property. The victim obtained an order of protection against Naus after he allegedly threatened him. Naus faces multiple charges, including third-degree burglary, criminal damage, harassment, and threatening and intimidating. He has a history of legal issues, including arrests for public sexual indecency, public urination, extreme DUI, selling stolen property, stealing a car, and forgery. Naus is expected to appear in court for a status conference on April 5 and a preliminary hearing on April 9. His trial is scheduled to begin on August 8.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old from Antioch, Illinois, traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin, during protests following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Armed with an AR-style rifle, Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killing 2 and wounding 1, claiming self-defense. His actions ignited a nationwide debate on guns, protests, and policing. Rittenhouse was part of a group patrolling the streets, stating his role was to protect businesses and provide aid. Facing multiple charges, including homicide, his trial scrutinizes whether his actions were truly in self-defense, involving emotional testimonies and legal debates. High-profile contributions to his bail fund and the trial's outcome are anticipated, reflecting broader issues of race, justice, and self-defense rights.
Guess what, folks? Starting July 1, driving across the iconic Golden Gate Bridge is gonna cost a bit more. The toll is going up by $0.50 for most drivers, making it $10.25. Fast Track users, you're not off the hook either. Your toll is increasing to $9.25. But hey, it's all for a good cause. This increase will help fund bridge operations, maintenance, and transit services. So buckle up and get ready for the ride, because change is coming to the Golden Gate Bridge.